Welcome to Todd Talks, the show where we have conversations that inspire and equip you to take action and do things. I'm your host, Todd Frazier, and in this episode, I get a chance to talk with Cody Wanner. He's a full-time YouTuber and speaker. We talk about everything from the importance of putting a shirt on for a video interview to regret and dealing with negative comments. Welcome to the show, Cody Wanner.
What's up?
What's up, Cody? How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How you doing?
Oh, just living that dream what day is today? Wednesday at a time.
One Wednesday at a time, man. Sorry, I'm 6 minutes late. Do you want this to be video or is it just audio?
I'd love for it to be video if it's possible.
All right, let me put a shirt on 1 second.
Oh, we could do it with your shirt off. They might like that.
I'll be right back.
All right, no problem. So how's it in Harrisburg, PA today?
That was my wrong coffee cup. Ooh, that coffee was a couple days old, dude. Oh, that was disgusting. Harrisburg is good. Harrisburg is very good.
Better than your second day old coffee.
Look, I've got 3 coffee mugs here. Like that's why you take those down to the sink as soon as they're done. Then you don't ever run into that. I even have the pot actually here. I didn't have my cup. Harrisburg is good, man. It's hot. It's hot here. My girls are down at a pool party.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm trying to, the reason I was late is because I'm trying to get this thumbnail done for the video that I'm releasing today. And I'm one of those people, my friend Alex Gasway said it really well the other day. She's like, people who are late all the time, there's been studies that they're actually just like eternal optimists and they think that they can get stuff done before,
yes.
And you're like, I can do all that. I can do all this stuff. I'm not wasting any time. And then boom, you're 5 minutes late, 40 minutes late, whatever.
Dude, that's my jam. Like, I'm always like, oh yeah, I've got another 5 minutes. It's a 15-minute project though. Like that's literally, I'm in that same space. It's the running joke with my mom's family. We're always late. Right. It's just the thing.
Right. It just is what it is. And then like, there's inevitably something that you kind of know how to do, but you don't totally know how to do it. So then you end up looking that up and then you're like,
you go down the hole. What are you doing different with this thumbnail?
Let me share my screen so we can look at this real quick here. So I'm trying to get that, I got me in the waterfall. I got a weird face going on. And then
I like the face.
Yeah. That's my, I gotta get this photo right face. And I decided to use that.
It's like, get this thing face.
That's the let's get this thing face. Exactly. Right. So it's almost done. The issue is Instagram story tips isn't popping out quite as much as I want it to right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's almost there. And like, that is always the issue is like, it is always almost there. And then you're like, all right, it's almost there. And then 45 minutes later.
Right. When you've done all the research to be like, well, if I do it this way or I do it that way, like, how do you do that this way? Oh man. And I really like the parallax video. Like
thanks, man.
That talk through, like it's a cool little feature. Now I have to ask, because I know you're a creator guy. I'm like borderline. I'm like half analytical and then like half creative, like enough to get in trouble. But like the time it takes you to do a parallax just for a grid photo, like is that just something you love to do, or you're like,
no, dude. No.
Was it like I need a good tutorial video? So.
Yeah. So the tutorial video, I do really like making tutorial videos. I wish that I like just knew more stuff so I could make more of them.
Yeah,
like
people are always like, so much that most people, like I get the same thing. I'm like, I don't know that much stuff to do tutorials. Yet you find out, you talk to people and they're like, I don't know how to do that. Why do I have a specific thumbnail? Like something that basic. And you're like, wow, there's a lot more in here than I thought of.
Yeah, I should make a list of that stuff. Like I should talk to some people who just, they classify themselves as beginners and then be like, just going through what I normally do. And they're like, oh, I'd love to know how to do that. I should make a list of that stuff. But
well, why don't you hit up the No Small Creator crew and just like put like, hey, what do you guys not know how to do or wish you know how to do, or see, not even necessarily see you do it, but see anybody do it. See Peter, see Casey.
The issue I was run into with that is people are like, people think that I'm like losing my way. And they're like, Cody, just make stuff about whatever you want to make stuff about.
I
And
need
like,
ideas. I need ideas.
right. And not you know, I love when people say that.
I get it.
Those
No, I get it.
are the true fans, right? Who
Yeah.
are like, we just want whatever you're gonna make, we want it. But there is like this data that needs to go into what do you make stuff about. So
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
I'll probably reach out at some point. But the last time I did that, I got like
you got
10 or
shellacked.
20 people. 10 or 20 people were like, just make stuff that you want to make, dude.
Yeah. I want to make stuff that you want to see. So help me.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Oh my, I was just rewatching the initial Peter video. And
Yeah.
Peter says that or is it the second one where he says at some point you just run out of ideas. Even the Caseys of the world, you run out of ideas.
Right.
And at some point you need some sort of inspiration. So to go to a group like No Small Creators, that should be the place where you're like, hey guys, let's do this. And I love love the No Small Creator thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is there some sort of direction that you're going with that, or just letting it be a community of creators?
Yeah, I mean, that's my biggest hope for it, is that it's a community of creators. You know, I really love that, like right now, for the most part, it's like, it's just pretty self-sustaining, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, there's people in there and they're helping one another. And like, that's what I want for it. I think, so yeah, I would be totally cool if it just stayed what it is. Like the Facebook group where you can go to get some encouragement. You know, it's going to be a fairly safe place. Like no one's going to rip you up too much.
I feel like it's pretty safe. I've not seen anything crazy in there.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know, occasionally we get like a crazy post and like the administrators are in there and we're deleting it, or like reported posts or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the rules of the group is like, you have to be encouraging. So, you can go there, you can get some encouragement. I love that. I would be cool if it just stayed that forever. I think probably next steps for it will be a conference where it's like, oh yeah, you know, you come and you just get to do that same thing but in person. Oh yeah, right. And we've started planning that like twice and just let it sort of fizzle because whatever the next thing was that happened.
Mm-hmm. When you say who's that team? Who's that team?
So yeah, I have a team of I think 6 administrators. And they're all incredible. Pam Tremble, Brian Sellers, William Nelson, Ashley Summerlin Murphy, and 2 more awesome ones, Eric Wen and Jeff Barch. But yeah, they're the ones who are like in there, you know, day in and day out, approving members. We get probably, I'd say anywhere from 2 or 3 up to 20 membership requests per day. And then, you know, we got to just make sure that the questions that we ask to kind of let people in there all are answered. Really, it's just answer like, will you be encouraging? Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Done. In.
Yeah.
And then we'll take you on your word until you are not that. And then we'll fix it on the back
end. And then you get kicked out of the group.
Right. So I think that just leads to kind of the bigger question is like, what's the bigger vision for you? Like, what are you going towards? I know you started the daily vlogging in 18, right? It was January 1st of 18 through December 31st. Is that right?
Right.
And then, so like and now you're full-time YouTube, you speak, you have an amazing wife and daughters, and you have family life. So what is where are you in your headspace and all that?
I'm sort of in this space where I'm like, you know, I love this. I love making videos on YouTube. I think I will always make videos on YouTube. I actually just shot one this morning about my recycling bin, which I set out for the trash to come take away. Yeah. And like it's a little bit more like artsy piece, and I don't actually think I'm gonna put it on my YouTube channel, but I think I will always be, you know, making videos, doing this sort of thing. Whether, I think the question is whether this can remain my primary income.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Like that's really the only question.
You got to provide for the family.
Right. So if it does or if it doesn't, I'm really cool either way. I think, where I'm at is, as long as I can make money for me, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But if that if the opportunities for sponsored content stop coming, or if everyone stops watching the videos, like, I'll still get just as much joy out of it.
Yeah.
It just won't be my primary moneymaker, you know?
Well, I mean, you got videos on there back 12 years back. I mean, I'm just going through your old stuff, and I love doing that because, like, I've been making videos since I was like 10 and 11 with my brother, and that just it's just, you feel like they just like doing it. And at some point, if you can make it a career, great. If it turns into something else, how's Amber with it? Is she way on board?
Yeah, she's good. I think the hardest thing, like, what's crazy is we live this insane life right now.
Yeah.
Where, like, Amber stays home with the girls from day to day. She has, like, basically 2 side jobs that take up 1 or 2 weekends a month. And
what's she do?
So she's a trained family counselor, couples and family counselor. But so she has a master's degree in that. But when we started having kids, she's like, yeah, I think I want to stay with kids. And I'm like, yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And then, like, we just, like, went $50,000 into credit card debt. Like,
I saw that video. Yeah.
Right. No, not because she stopped working.
No, I know what you mean.
That was more just because we were trying to build this video production company, and it was really hard. But yeah, so she said she wanted to stay home and was able to do it. And now she's able to do that. We're for the most part a 1-income family, and yeah, like, we live this amazing life, right?
Yeah.
So on one side we have that, right?
Like
that, where she's super hyped about that. I'm hyped about that. On the other side, it is extremely hard when I go away for, like, weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Or when I'm, it's dinner time or bedtime, and I'm up here trying to hit a deadline, whether it's self-imposed or for a client,
right? And
make a thumbnail, and I'm like, yeah, it'll be 5 minutes, and 5 hours later I come down and, like, eat the cold food. Like, there's a lot of, it's like anything. There's no perfect setup, right? So a good kind of story about this would be, the other day, my daughter,
how old are your daughters?
4 and 2. Awesome. So my oldest daughter, Finley, she's like, Dad, like, I forget what it was. I think I was just leaving. I was leaving to go to a meeting or shoot a video or something. She's like, I don't want you to go. And, but it was like 2 p.m. or something that I was leaving. Yeah. And Amber and I kind of sat there with her and said, like, sweetie, that's totally normal. I don't want to go either. I love being with you. It's awesome. But we just want you to know, like, normally kids' parents go away.
We have this conversation all the time.
Them,
oh, yeah.
All day, like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Normally kids' parents aren't home at all. So it's so great that Dad got to be with you until 2 p.m. Like, now it's the afternoon and he's leaving. So that we got to remember that, like, even though it's hard to leave, we have it better than a lot of people, you know? So it's one of those things where you're constantly having to readjust your mindset and, like, not fall into that, oh, I wish I had X, Y, Z. It's like, no, be grateful for what you've got. Right.
Well, and at 4 years old, it's hard to articulate to her because, like, so our kids I've got a 13-year-old and 11-year-old twins. And my son, one of the twins, he does that already. He's been doing that for a long time. He's like, Dad, do you have to go to work today? I'm like, it's Tuesday at 10:30 and I've been home all morning. Like, that's just how it works. That's life. But and ultimately it works out, but there's still that it just hurts your dad heart. You're just like, oh, I want to stay home with you. I don't want to go and be gone for all day or a week or whatever. So that makes it really, really hard. But it's so much fun being a dad. Do you love being a dad?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, dude. Love it.
Yeah. That's so much fun. So I want to talk about a little bit, you getting the connection with Peter and just kind of walk through that. Like, you were daily vlog. What was your purpose for daily vlogging? Like, what was your deal?
Yeah. I felt like at the end of 2017, I felt like, either something big is going to happen or I'm going to make something big happen. And regardless of which of those things is true, I want to be documenting the process when it happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Gary V
so,
philosophy.
And I was, what's that?
Gary V philosophy.
Yeah, Gary V philosophy. Yeah, I was less into Gary at that point, but yeah, the whole idea of just documentation. My main sort of teacher, the person, you know, I said I was listening to Gary V, even though that's like his mantra 100%, was Casey Neistat, right? So
yeah.
I just saw him documenting the creation of Beam, documenting like his daily life. And I was like, man, that's so smart, because, you know, that documentation, it's just so awesome to have that, for your life, right?
You have the recall. You can be like, yeah, look, I was here. I actually did it. Yeah,
right. And the alibi in some cases.
Yes, right? No, I was here. I was not where you say I was, officer.
Yeah. So yeah, started. I tested it out. I had been thinking that for like probably 2 years. I should say.
Okay.
I heard a quote in a book from a guy called Grant Cardone. And
I know Grant.
Said, if there's something you know you need to do, quit thinking about it and do it. And immediately vlogging popped into my head. I'd been thinking about it for 2 years, and asked Amber, can I get this started? And she said, you've been talking about this for a while. Like, I think the time's right. Go for it.
Yeah.
And
was this in the middle of Cap Collective that you started doing that?
Yeah. So this was 3 or 4 years into 3.5 years into the creating this video production company. And so January 1st, 2018, started the daily vlog, like shot it, edited it, uploaded it the next day on January 2nd. And just kept going, you know, started having a blast. And, you know, I had 111 completely inactive subscribers when I like started uploading to my channel, because as you mentioned, like I have videos on there from 12 years ago. I think I started in 2006.
Right.
And my first one is like this, you know, this film school project of me jumping
off a building, the Take 5, man.
Yeah, dude, Take 5 video competition. I love that video. I go back and watch that video for inspiration.
Now, did you do the filming or did you do the jumping? I couldn't tell.
I did the jumping. Yeah, so I'm the guy in the black shirt who's putting on the chase, and then I was the director of photography. So we got my buddy Kyle McIntyre. Haven't talked to him for 10 years.
Yeah.
But we put him on a skateboard, and then somebody else must have been pulling him. Maybe it was my roommate. I don't know. I don't know who was the actual dolly operator in this case, but was pulling him backwards on the skateboard. And that's the hallway shot. Anyway, it was.
And I have to say, that hallway shot, I'm watching that. I'm like, man, is he filming this? Is he like how? Because it's 12 years ago, and we don't
before
have
360 cameras.
Yeah, and you didn't have a one wheel, like
no.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm
anyway,
sitting on my skateboard, man.
That's crazy.
But also, other fun fact about that video, that's Amber. Recognized, but that's Amber. Like when we had just started dating.
Oh wow!
In the beginning, the one. Candy bar stolen from her.
So
Walk down memory lane there. So what's that?
How long you guys been together?
We've been together for, would it be 13 or 14 years? Maybe 14 years. But we've been married for 9 years.
9 years, yeah. Had a great anniversary in June. Same as it's a good month,
anniversary.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
And your trip looked epic. Sorry, we're
we're going
on.
Like, hopefully people can track with us. I love making people track with an ADHD mind. Like, I just love it. I think it's so fun to be like, this is how my brain feels all the time. Like, just here's a small taste. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where were we? We
were talking about, so you were making the daily vlog.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started uploading there. Didn't have many subscribers that were actually active. Kind of posted it on Facebook primarily, Facebook and Instagram. Like, hey, I'm starting this daily vlog. People were concerned about me, like my friends.
What's wrong with you?
Why are you doing it? Are you like starved for attention? What's going on? I did have sort of the alibi, the excuse of, well, I'm building this company and this helps for marketing. It helps kind of position me as an expert in the space, right?
But you just wanted a daily vlog.
I just felt like something epic was happening and I wanted to be documenting it. That was my main reason.
You said that a few times. What is it internally that said something big's going to happen? I feel something big's going to happen.
Yeah, just a gut feeling, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
Because I mean, I understand that feeling. I just don't know if other people do. Like, because I very much get that.
Right. I think so. I'm trying to think of like another, maybe a more ubiquitous experience that maybe more people have had if they've never experienced that gut feeling. But
well, it's just a vision. You see it.
Yeah, like call it a sixth sense, maybe. Yeah. I don't know, but you know how sometimes you feel like I'm in a dangerous situation. Like, why? You just pick up on like, this is dangerous. I need to leave, or I need to do something, take some sort of action.
Right.
Similar thing. It's just like you feel it in your stomach of like, and you're like, your throat gets kind of dry, and you're like, your body is reacting to something, but you consciously don't know what it is. That's what this was. But it was kind of a longer, less, it was like a longer version of that, where it had been building up inside of me for years, where I felt like I need either I need to make it happen, or it's going to happen. But regardless,
right,
I want to be capturing it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I
started it up, and I think it was 100. Is vlog 174. Peter McKinnon DM'd me on Twitter. He's like, "Dude, come up to Canada, make a video with me. Come to Toronto, make a video with me." And I flipped out, and I was like, thankfully hit record like on my phone as I was, reading the Twitter DM.
So that was live when you did that, because I saw that. I'm like, was that?
Man, that was my so actual awesome reaction.
I love that reaction.
Funny story. He was like, hey, I think like a couple days before I came up, he's like, hey, could you send me that video from Twitter? Like, I can't download it from Twitter because I don't think you can download it out of DMs. But I'm pretty sure I had recorded it in Twitter. Like, I had just hit the response record button
in the Twitter DM.
Download it from Twitter. But thankfully, iPhone had like just enabled
screen recording
ability to screen record with audio or something like that. So I was able to download it and send it. Yeah, and then he actually puts that response in the video.
Yeah,
which is like super embarrassing, but I was down with it.
Dude, like, it's not embarrassing. It's so authentic. I love that, because if you don't because I get the thing all the time, like, why do you have so much energy? Like, why are you so excited all the time? I'm like, because life, guys. And if you can't say like, I got freaked out because Peter McKinnon DM'd me. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. So I was hyped, and I called Amber, I called my dad, then I think I called my sister who lives up in New York City, and she was like, "Are you sure it's a real account?" Like, are you sure it's real? Like,
this has got to be fake. Somebody's playing a joke on you, Cody.
I'm pretty sure, like, when you click on it, it goes to his actual profile. So then it was real, and Pete had a really good idea of just like, I get all these comments that are saying you would never work with me. I only have X number of subscribers.
Right.
And he's like, that has nothing to do with it. Like, it has to do with who you are. Are you a cool person? Yeah. But also just like, what sort of work are you doing? Like, your subscribers do not equate to your value as a person. Like, obviously that's something that I am so super on board with. So the idea really, really meshed up there for his video idea.
And I think the other thing people forget is that somebody like Peter, he's got a lot of things that he's doing. Like, he doesn't have time for everybody.
Right.
There's a reality to that. So
yeah, I mean, I like to say like, for every one DM that I get, like, he's literally getting 1,000.
Yeah, easily.
Like, it's just a scale thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't keep up with all of the people, whether they're awesome or spam bots. I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
yep, totally get it.
Keep up with all of those. Can you imagine trying to do that at a 1,000x level? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's something that most people, I think probably 99% of the people, like, get that. Then there's this other 1% but when you're talking about 1% of 4 million people, that's still a legit amount of people, right? That don't get it. And they're like, why aren't you responding? You know, it's like,
and those are the loud ones. Those are the ones that are making the noise.
Yeah. Squeaky wheels, right? Yeah. So all that is to say, I went up there and made that video with him and was daily vlogging that whole experience, right? And so he put out one video. I ended up putting out 2 because it was like over a 2-day span. And the last thing that I wanted to say was,
I wanted to ask about that. Did you like not sleep for like 48 hours? Because I
didn't sleep for like 6 months, dude.
Because at the end of that second video, you're just like, you're like, you can't even put thoughts together.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah, and that was really what 2018 was for me. It was just like 3 hours of sleep, grind, 3 hours of sleep, grind, and that is not a healthy. Like, I would not recommend that to anybody.
Would you change it though?
What's that?
Would you change it? Would you go back and change it?
I mean, I would. Yeah, I'd probably try to hack and see if I could figure out how to sleep more, because I'm a fan of being healthy, but at the same time, it's like, it is what it is, right?
And you wouldn't change. You wouldn't go back and say, I wish I never did the daily vlogging thing, because that's what's put you to where you are now. I think that's huge for people to say, like, regrets. People talk about regrets all the time. And like, regrets are pointless, because everything you've done, good or bad, has led you to where you are and where you're going.
Right.
And you never know until you take that step.
100%. I think, I do try to always, I've actually just this morning, I'm making this book. I'm making a coffee table book.
Yes. I was going to ask if you're writing a book.
Yeah, no, I'm not writing it. Well, I guess I am sort of writing it.
You are. Come on.
It's screenshots of tweets that I never tweeted. Right.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, I write the whole tweet out, and there's this own sort of like, people with ADHD, we have a hard time with, what is it called? Like administrative function or something. So we have a hard time like self-filtering, right? So I write out these entire tweets, and like I fine tune them and sculpt them, and they're perfect. And then I'm just like, nah, I'm not posting that. And I hit delete. So I've been doing that for quite some time.
Really?
But just recently I realized this would make an amazing coffee table book. Like, just for myself. I don't even care if people would buy it, but like tweets I never tweeted.
Yes, so, I love that.
Just this morning, I wrote one out. My biggest regret is stopping skateboarding every day. Like, I just think, if I think about how good I would be at skateboarding right now, and maybe incredibly broken, but good at skateboarding right now, if I would have kept on going, like I started when I was in, I think, 6th grade, right? If I would have kept on skating every day, I used to skate for 6 hours, 8 hours a day. I'm that sort of addictive personality. If I would have kept doing that, like, I would be a pro by now.
You'd be out here in Huntington Beach at the US Open right now.
Right.
Skating in the bowl. Yeah,
dude. But yeah, so I feel the same exact way as you do about regrets. Like, I am saying I'm glad I stopped skating because it got me to where I am now in my life. But I do try to think of it like, there's people who don't share our view of just kind of regrets are pointless. Like, I understand there are ways you could have done it better in your life. It's just where we come in and say, but you wouldn't, if you did, imagine how that would have changed like the path that you were on. So it's one of those. It's an ethereal question, right?
Oh, totally. What and it all comes from, but the what if it goes bad? And I'm like, and I think you are too, like, what if it goes good? What if it's epic? You'll never know until you start. Like, that's my whole, like, you're get this thing, I'm do things. Like, that's we're so lined up in that way of thinking. And I think that sounds like why you did the daily vlog. You're like, I just got to do this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. I'm just going to do it. So what I'll say to that is I made that decision at the same time that I made a decision, which was, I'm going to allow myself to make mistakes and just be comfortable with it. I'm going to allow myself to let people down and just be comfortable with it. So, at the time I started the daily vlog, I think I was 32 or 31. And I had spent 30 years of my life or whatever, 20, let's say 20, since I wasn't
You weren't
spending, I
vlogging
wasn't
when you were
remembering
one.
when I was one, right?
Yeah.
I spent 20 years of my life letting people down and feeling like really guilty about it. Like when I was late, or when I would get distracted during a conversation and like start doing something else, or all the ways that you let everybody in your whole life down. We're constantly letting everybody down, right?
All the
And
time.
I was carrying like a lot of weight around my business partners, my clients, all of the different people, and how I was letting them down. And I decided I'm still going to try to be a good person. Like I don't want to let people down, but I'm going to let people down this year. I'm taking on more than I can handle. That's probably a mistake to take on this much.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a mistake to sleep 3 hours a night. It's probably a mistake to all of these different things.
Yeah.
But I just decided I'm going to be comfortable with it and allow myself to do it for a year, because I felt like up until that point in my life, I was trying to correct too quickly, like almost in real time.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what if I allowed myself just more time, more data before I tried to make corrections? I was like, what if I gave myself a whole year to kind of make the mistakes before I kind of looked back and said, okay, how can I correct? And so that I made that commitment at the same time that I started daily vlogging. And then a mantra that I 100% live by, and I say to myself over and over every single day, is everything is being redeemed, right? So that the idea that what if it goes wrong? And you and I feel a little bit more like, well, what if it goes right? Okay, let's say it does go wrong. I don't believe that there's anything that can go so wrong that it's beyond redemption, right?
100%.
Like, let's say the path does get taken like completely way off path, like way off track, right? I think that even if it gets way over there, it's still in a redeemable position that can bring you to a book deal, or a new person who you met, who now you go and do this thing or whatever it is. Right. I think that everything is being redeemed like in real time. And so, I'm not afraid of that what if it goes wrong mentality.
Does a lot of that come from a faith background?
Yeah, I have a very strong faith.
That's awesome. I saw that you went to the name of the college. I can't think of it now. Messiah Christian.
Yeah, Messiah College, yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love your unicorn pants, by the way.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, before I put my shirt on, it was just me and my unicorn pants. Then I had to put my shirt on because,
those are whimsical. I think so. For me, faith is huge. Also, I do like a lot of the actual like real content that I made. Started making it at church and in that space. And I think that's such a place where I come from. Like I know that if it goes really bad, there's a reason that I'm going to learn from it, and God's going to use that in some way that I can never see in the future. And so that's something that I feel like that's the biggest reason I probably have the ability to just do something without the fear of what happens. Right. And I think that's probably a big part of people not taking action in any of that. So.
Yeah. I generally shy away from saying there's a reason for something bad happening. Sure. Just because that can get really dicey. Like when someone loses. Oh yeah. A loved one, right. Like I would never say like there's a reason that happens. No. Just because like your heart's in the right place when you say that. When people say that, their heart's in the right place. Like they're trying to be helpful, right? Yeah. But they are not being helpful. No. That is not a helpful response. But yeah, for me, taking it like it's just like one step further to say like, yeah, this sucks. Like that sucks. There's not a reason for that. There's nothing like that sucks, but it is redeemable. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And there's never a point where it's gone too far. It's always something that's like, even if you get down to where like, this is the worst thing I could possibly imagine happening, it can still be redeemed. I think there's never a reason to give up.
Yeah. It's horrible to think about, but right. Like hypothetically and like theoretically and in this thought experiment that we're in right now, I agree with you. I don't like to think about like how horrible it could get and how horrible it is for like people in the world, it's hard to think about, but right. I think the only mindset that like I'm able to survive with, and that allows me to keep going, is this one that it's like, okay, but even though this is the worst thing that could happen in the world, and even though you're living in hell on earth, can be redeemed. It makes me think of that book that I read in college, which is called something about the night by someone. I can't remember any of the
Something
things
about the thing by
right
the
now.
person that was the person.
but yeah, just he was in a concentration camp, and the idea of waking up every day and still finding purpose within a concentration camp, and how that was the difference between life and death for him. And yeah, it's gonna kill me that I can't pull up. I'll Google it while we move on.
Yeah, we'll look it up for sure.
Yeah.
So okay, so you get the Peter connection, and I love your pinned tweet where it's like, what if I would have stopped here in your Google Analytic thing, and it just spikes. Was that the point that you thought, okay, I am going in the right direction, this is the path that I'm supposed to take? Was that a trigger for you, or was it just another thing?
So real quick, before I answer that and while I think about it a little bit, the book is called Night by Elie, I believe you pronounce his name Wiesel, but Elie Wiesel.
Okay.
And the book's called Night, and it's a fantastic book about hope and about purpose and perseverance and all that sort of stuff, which is like my favorite things in life. Did the call, I think it was definitely extremely validating for me, where it was I have this like another mantra that I live by is, if somebody ever kind of writes me off or unsubscribes or, treats me poorly or tries to hurt me or whatever, and this goes along with feeling like everything is always being redeemed. I always kind of smile and think like they'll be back. And like at some point I'm going to do something cool enough and they're going to be like, oh, I got to subscribe to this guy again. Right.
Right. I can't not subscribe now.
Right. So I think in that way, it was pretty rad to be like, anybody who ever doubted that vlogging was a good use of my time, like, now they have to agree it was a good use, right?
Absolutely.
So it's very validating in that way. I think that maybe at the time I would have. I think there's just so much going on in my brain, and like the crazy thing is, it's hard for me to remember. It's a good thing I have the vlogs, because it's actually hard for me to remember a lot of like went down in 2018.
Well, so much happened.
I was so sleep deprived, and so much happened. And like I was constantly on this daily cycle of I got to get out this piece of content. I got to get out this piece of content, and I was just exhausted, right? So, so I'm not sure really what I was thinking at the time and after it happened. I was just sort of in a state where it's like, no matter what is happening and what is going to happen, because like a week after that, YouTube gave me Creator on the Rise, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, there was all of these big things happen. Then like 2 weeks after that, I went out to the West Coast for 11 days and like went on this collaboration tour with bunches of awesome people.
Yeah.
It's just like this nonstop barrage of there's this wave, like ride the wave, ride this wave, do whatever you got to do to just kind of keep your head up and just ride the wave. And if you can't hop up and surf, then surf, but don't drown. Right. And that was the video that I made actually. The day that I found out that I had Creator on the Rise was like, I think that a lot of people at this point are just sort of following along to see if I just crack. Like if I just can't keep on going,
That's funny.
And
do you get comments like that? Like, I know you're going to crack. When's it going to happen, Cody?
Yeah. One time I got like a pretty prominent one because it was on a community post. So like normally I get bunches of comments on a video, but for community posts, I get like 4 or 5. And one of this community posts that was like, I give this channel 6 months and it'll be completely gone. Like, there's no way. You used to be good at like all this stuff, this crazy hate, you know? And I'm like, I think I actually discourage people from doing this now, but I think I actually screenshotted that one and like posted it on Twitter to talk about it with people.
Yeah. But I think that's important to bring attention to that. Like I got a comment from one guy that said he would hate to be my son or something like that. Like something's totally random. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, what happened in your life that you feel like from behind your keyboard, you got to take a shot at me that has nothing to do with anything. So I just feel bad for him. But I don't think there's anything wrong with screenshotting and talking about it. It's
I think the issue is people can take it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Like they can get very defensive on my behalf, which is
you.
What's that?
Like they're social justicing for you in your defense.
And like they're feeling this like anger well up inside of them because someone treated me poorly.
Yeah.
Right. Which I would never want to, like, I want to help people deal with feelings like that. I don't want to help people get to places like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of discourage like reposting the very negative stuff, because I don't think the number of times I've done it, the conversation never really went the way that I wanted it to go. Where we're all just sort of like laughing, oh, this is so crazy, right? And it just like got more negative than I wanted. But and I think that also with negative comments, there's a line that people can cross where they'll just like get blocked and like report to YouTube, report to Twitter, block. Like, and we're done. We're not going to communicate on this earth anymore. I just got one like that the other day where someone said something about Amber and I was like, well, no.
Ooh, not cool. Not cool.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that you start talking about your wife or your kids. Like there's no reason to bring them into the conversation, especially when it's nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, and there's no reason.
People are just, everyone just, it's amazing. It's amazing how many different types of people, different upbringings with different hurts in their life. And all think of all the stuff that went into creating you and your mind. Yeah. And then just think about how everybody had that same thing happen, but with all of like the entire gamut of experiences in childhood and all that stuff. And you're like, you can't really blame them. They don't know. They don't really know.
No,
it's better.
True. It's true. And you have to come at it from that perspective. And like, I always think, what happened to them? What was their experience that caused them to get so negative and get so hurtful, because they're doing it out of some place. So, but you can spend so much time thinking about that and trying to figure out how to help them, when in reality, they've got to do it themselves. They've got to internally figure out what's wrong. Yeah. So all of this happens, you get the spike, you get Create on the Rise, you get the Vid Summit speaking gig.
Yeah.
Like that. And which is where I met you. I came out to the No Small Creator at the Vid Summit party, the pre-party thing. And that was just like, I felt like you really had something going there where it's like, you're speaking at Vid Summit. Then I saw you speak at 368 and like you've got all this, the connections. The thing I think is most important in all of what's going on for any of us is the relationships we create.
100%, dude.
Within that, there. Yeah, man. So what's the relationship within everything that's happened to you in the last like year and a half that you feel like has made the most impact, or you think could make the most impact in the future?
There's so many. I mean, it's nearly impossible to choose just one. A relationship that is built, or
something that's maybe encouraged you the most in all that.
Yeah, for me, the probably the most impactful kind of relationship shift was going through all of this with Amber.
Yeah,
and just seeing her adapt and me adapt and us have to figure out how to make like a big, because I had a career shift, right? Where like I went from video production to creating just content for myself on YouTube that's sponsored by, like, it's different. It was a career shift for sure,
totally.
if not a career change. And going through just, having more attention, having more eyeballs on us. Those were like big shifts that we went through, and going through that with her and just seeing like her strength and her thought process and mindset as she as she was thrown all these curveballs.
Yeah.
And just how like she just kept swinging and like doing it together. I think that if I'm being 100% honest, which I try to always
you should be, right?
I think that the most impact probably will come from how Amber's and my relationship has grown through this whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, that is huge. And I think, it's not the new relationships that impacted, it's the existing relationship that has been really the longest. Like that's something I think that's so huge. And for her to be able to be in the middle of this with you, and you've got a partner, because I mean, most of the full-time YouTubers talk about the loneliness of full-time YouTubing, but to have someone, to have your wife and have a family that understands it and has gone through it all with you. I think
it would be impossible. The loneliness factor would be impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, all of it, actually all of it would be impossible without a supportive partner like that. So like, unless if I was like a single and I didn't have a family and whatever, like then that's a whole different thing, right?
It's a whole
but
nother
then
thing.
The loneliness is like maybe will take you down, right? Because you don't have someone. But there is this extreme loneliness that comes from being like a full-time content creator, because nobody that you're friends with really knows what you do, like what you do from day to day, and the different struggles and whatever. So
it's hard to explain to them.
Right. And it's just, my friends are so rad, and that like they'll sit there and listen to me talk about it, like, and they'll ask questions about what it feels like. But there is always this sense of like, when you're around somebody who just who gets it because they're in the same situation, that's like a different sort of connection, right?
Totally.
Or something like that. So there is this crazy loneliness. Pete's done a great video about that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, having Amber at home, who, when I come home from like a long trip or from a long day, this just happened to me yesterday. Like I feel like I just got slammed this month in July, like just punched in the face with like just stuff and nothing bad, like all really good stuff, but just like trying to keep up with it, trying to stay on top of everything. And having her here at the end of every day, or the end of every trip or whatever it was, is just, it's the rock. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Like, and having that to be able to come back to and be like, I need you to know that I've had a rough day, week, month, whatever.
And she can just see it in my face too.
They can tell. You walk in the door and they're like, what's wrong? You're like, I didn't say anything. I can just, I know.
Oh yeah, 100%. But the other crazy thing then is like all the stuff that she, like raising a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
Having to spend all the time with them at all the times, literally nonstop.
Yeah.
Is way harder than what anything I have to do.
Yes.
So that's what I mean about kind of us being together through the thing. It's just, it's been a huge, it's been hugely impactful for me.
Absolutely. I tell my wife all the time, I could never do what you do daily. Like I'm home for, I watch them for like 3 hours or something when she goes and does an aerobics class somewhere or something. And it's like, man, I couldn't do this all day. I love my kids. I love spending time with my kids, but the day in, day out, like that is it's a lot of work. You're raising small humans. Mindset.
It's like, it's a whole different, but it's massive.
Yeah.
It's a skill set, and you gotta be like you gotta have thick skin.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
Full time, like with your kids all the time, parent. You guys, like major props.
Yep. Absolutely. No, props to the moms. Props to the moms, everybody.
And the dads
and anybody that takes care of
caretakers.
Yes.
I mean, if you're with kids for more than 3 hours at a time, major props to you.
Absolutely. I'm so from here I go to our church because I'm helping with the VBS for the week. And it's like 1,100 kids from kindergarten to 5th grade. And my kids are all like they're leading groups. And so my oldest daughter comes home and she's got kindergartners, and it's her and 2 of her friends. They're all 8th graders. And then 12 kindergartners. And she comes home and she's got this look on her face and she's like, Dad, this is insane. Her voice is lost. And yes, taking care of kids is one of the most important things I think that can happen, because you're shaping a human. And, and like, we talk about all the things that happen within somebody's life to make them who they are. and then makes them react a certain way. Like there's nothing, in my opinion, that's more valuable than being able to be a part of some kid growing up to make a difference. So I think it's huge.
Major impact.
I think it's huge. All right. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I do want to, I really appreciate you coming on and talking with me. I'm doing this. I'm going to call this, you're the first one to go through this. I'm calling this Todd's Top 10.
Top 10.
Todd's Top 10. Boom. Right. So, and I think it'll be, short and easy, but you never know. I saw you on the Video Influencer with Sean and his lightning
that was
round.
One of my favorite sequences ever, dude.
Yes.
I love that.
It's so good. And he does it all. I'm interviewing him actually on Friday. So cool. I'll tell him that you said that you loved his lightning round.
I was watching that just cracking up. Like I don't think I've ever laughed so hard at myself in a video, but like also just Sean's like ability to like roll with it. It was I gotta go back and watch that sequence again. I love it.
It's good. It's a good lightning round. I will give you that. Okay, so let's do Todd's Top 10. It's just kind of getting to know you a little bit more deeper and just answering some quick questions here before we take off. So first, favorite social media platform?
Twitter.
Okay, hands down, no hesitation. No hesitation
whatsoever. Twitter
is the jam.
Still there?
Yeah, I'm here. You there?
All right. I'm here. I'm here too. I'm here.
All right. Okay, good.
This is a lightning round.
But the internet made it slow. I don't know what happened. Stupid internet. You're screwing up the Todd's Top 10. All right. Favorite media style to create?
Media style.
Like video, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Favorite media style to consume?
Video,
hands down. The influencer you'd most want to be best friends with?
The influencer I most want to be best friends with. What a funny question, dude.
I know, right?
I'm going to get like super out there on you and just say myself because let me explain the reason.
Okay.
Most people who society or like marketing analysis or whatever, those people who like name things, most people who would get called an influencer just hate that word.
Yes.
Like do not like the word. I can't even say it without like cringing a little bit, like throwing up in my mouth a little bit. So the reason I have to say myself is because I don't want to like call one of my friends out as an influencer, but also I don't want to play favorites. Like I just love everybody that
playing it
I
safe.
know
You're playing it safe and sounding completely.
I'm sorry. I'm not normally someone who plays it safe, but I got to do it in this situation.
All right. I was thinking you say Amber because she influences, whatever. But
there we go. Okay. Yeah, that was better.
Okay. All right. So if you
just cut everything out and just say that instead. Okay. Just power of editing.
If you had to choose one type of monetization for your content, would it be AdSense, brand sponsorship, affiliate sales, speaking engagements, or other? One type.
I'll just say sponsorships, but I'll clarify it in saying like, if I could make a bunch of money with speaking, I would switch to that because that sounds super rad. But I currently make most of my money with sponsorships, so like I'm choosing sponsorships so I can keep making money. Right. But if I could get a bunch of speaking gigs, I'd go that route.
So the answer then is speaking gigs.
Okay, speaking gigs is what you meant, and that's what I'll say. Speaking gigs.
I love this, and we're totally not editing any of that out.
No, never edit a podcast.
No
like
way.
My theory of podcasting is like people want to just hear the conversation, man.
Well, that's the whole point of a podcast. I want to hear the little bit of the insights. Like I'll listen to a 7-hour Gary Vee because of the little nuance you hear at like hour 4:25 that he said to somebody in passing. That's like no big deal. So I love that. Yep. Okay, the metric that you actually care about.
Metric that I actually care about is, I would say it is actually comments, but it's a specific comment. I love the comment that you get when it's like, I watched your video, I've been watching your videos for a while, and I decided to XYZ, whether that's start a channel, start a business, start a reconcile with the whatever it is. I'll never forget the first comment I got that was like, I'm going to start selling the jewelry that I make and I've been encouraged by your videos to do so. I was like, I'm done. Like that's enough for me right there. That's amazing. And so yeah, that's my favorite kind of metric, is that specifically that specific type of comment.
Well, and it proves the connection. It proves that connection that says, yes, I'm making an impact, because that's ultimately, that's what you want to do. That's what I want to do. I want to make an impact in people. So that's huge comments. I love that. Favorite donut?
Glazed white cream filled.
Ooh, that's an interest, like fluffy cream, like custard cream.
No, white cream.
White cream. Okay.
Not custard cream.
Not custard
Glazed
cream.
White cream filled.
So still light and fluffy, not heavy. And
light. Oh yeah,
cream.
super light and fluffy. That kind of super light donut. I'm not a huge fan of like cake donuts, though. I do like the glazed sour cream cake donut.
Oof.
Man, I haven't had breakfast yet today, and I am getting starving.
You're welcome.
I may go to the store and get those donuts right now. But yeah, that glazed white cream, man. Like, that's
one.
Get that glazed white cream. I had one 2 days ago.
Oh man, well, you ready for another one today?
Right now, yeah.
Craziest thing you've ever attempted, not succeeded in. Craziest thing you've ever attempted.
Craziest thing I've ever attempted, yet not succeeded.
Well, you could have succeeded, and if you would, then it'd be like super epic.
Okay. What's coming to mind is one time I went over with my buddy Oswaldo in Malibu, and he's like, yeah, we're going to go to this place called like Point Doom, and we're going to climb up this this rocks. And I'm like terrified of heights. And it was just him and me, like me and him. And we just went to this massive rock.
Yeah.
And climbed it. Like we had ropes and stuff, but I had to rappel down in the beginning. Like we climbed up to the top, we hiked up the top, I rappelled down in the beginning, the whole thing. And I did it. Like I did actually accomplish this, but I've always said taking action in the face of fear is more impressive than just being fearless. Like if someone jumps out of a plane, but they have no fear of jumping out of a plane, that's less impressive than someone who jumps off of a 10-foot high dive, but they're terrified of heights.
Oh yeah.
So, that's what's coming to mind.
100%. So you climbed. I hate climbing and I hate heights too. So that's a good one.
Worth it though, dude.
Yeah.
So worth it.
So this is in Point Doom in
Point Doom in Malibu, man. Yeah.
All right. I may have to go there. Favorite holiday?
Favorite holiday is probably Christmas.
Yes.
You gotta like. I love everything about Christmas. I love Bailey's. You know, Bailey's is like the adult. It's the adult hot chocolate, right? So it's like Bailey's on Christmas Eve, and like you're just drinking, and then maybe some Bailey's on Christmas morning in your coffee. But like, I just love. Christmas has forever been something I so look forward to as a kid. Like you can't sleep. And then now as an adult, like seeing the kids open the presents, seeing like just all of the tradition around Christmas. I love Christmas.
Yes, I love it, man. Okay, Christmas.
I'm glad that I led with the alcoholic beverage there.
Right.
That I set a good example.
I was going to let it go. I wasn't going to like bring it up again. But I was going to DM Amber and be like, hey, Cody,
is Cody okay? She's been like, if you tell Cody not to get Bailey's on Christmas, I will unfriend you right now. We love it, man. We love it.
That's awesome. And then
time of year for Bailey's.
That's great. And then most used piece of equipment, the single thing you use most.
It's got to be my phone, dude.
Yeah, man. So much.
It's a camera. It's an emailer. It's an Internet Explorer.
It's so much. It's everything.
Things.
It's all on the phone.
It does all the things that you need it to do.
On the phone. So, all right. Well, I think that was a successful Todd's Top 10.
That was 10?
That was 10, man.
That was rad. Todd's Top 10.
Dude.
Success number 1, dude.
Success.
Keep it going.
I love it. I love it. Anything else you want to say before we sign off here?
No, man. Thanks so much for bearing with me as we set this up, and thanks for just crushing a podcast. I love podcasts like this where we just get to talk about a million things.
Absolutely. I think the trails are what it's all about. I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Todd Talks. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. If you wouldn't mind, we'd love it if you'd give us a review. Until next time, I'm Todd Frazier. This is Todd Talks. Get out there, burn your plans, and do things.